Min Beneath the Trees, day 47. Saturday afternoon, and it's reasonably quiet. Fingers crossed. We didn't get the leader's name clearly because the gaubles around her referred to her only as something like MB. We sent a request through the presence to find out and learned those were the initials of her name, Marla Morlock Bain. Sounds suitably predatory, Fitlin whispered to Min. One of the greedy gaubles Otlin spoke about, she responded. This is what we heard her say right here in the glade below us. Shinray's voice crackled with anger. The forest is mine. Mine to mill, then drill. I cannot wait to clear all of this, crack it wide open, and get to the goodies below. Can you believe it? Shimmeran groaned with horror. Min shuddered. How, she thought, how is it possible any living creature could think like that? Think worse, far worse, Flick muttered, stoking Min's unease. Flick! Flutter shushed him. This is so not helping right now. This was the advance party, Gladwell continued. Their job was to survey the land between the far north of the valley from where they'd entered the forest to the edge of Scarpel in the middle. The plan was to map out a path to bring in what they called the truck and excavation vehicles. We are protected from the outside world in our hidden valley, so we don't know what these were. We sent urgent messages again via the presence to find out. What came back chilled our sap to ice. The massive metal creatures they described would destroy huge tracts of our valley, the forest, and anything that stood in their way. Exactly what she must have meant by cracking wide open. It's unthinkable, Shinray added. Min and the Glynns huddled together, trying to take some comfort from each other as Shinray's nightmare narrative unfolded. To make it worse, they seemed excited about their plans. They talked about something called dynamite and blasting and drilling deep holes through the heart of... Shinray stopped. There was silence. Shimmeron finished for her. Scarpel. Min recoiled. Spiritual, sacred Scarpel. This cannot happen. It has to be stopped. Right into the core of the mantle to release, Shinray paused for a long time, the blood of Zarklon. Min shook. Breathe, Min, Flutter comforted her. Listen, Flick instructed. While our time might be nearing its end, we are not without a plan, Shinray spoke into the silence. We know the Gaubles have a thirst for Zarklon's blood, but should they succeed, they will unleash its fullest, most destructive force right here in Glinterdale, and that will lay waste to the valley and Scarpel before the next generation of Silver Radiants have a chance to flourish, a risk far too great to ignore. Min knew from the law that Zarklon lay buried far beneath the mantle doing Palia's bidding as a contributing energy to the great orb's well-being, but let loose, it became a malevolent force capable of catastrophic destruction. To keep this force locked in place, Lumens believed they must always live for the great goodness, tending trees, caring for the creatures and all beings, and thereby respecting the balance of nature. Min wanted to cry out, "What have we done wrong?" She had the answer. Lumens had not done this. Amana was right. Otlin and the Radiants too. This was the proof. Gaubles had made this happen. Min wasn't used to anger. The rage she had earlier directed at the impending death of the Silver Radiants was rearmed and re-aimed at Gaubles. We told the whole forest the story, Shinray said. They were in shock, as you can imagine. They were also unanimous. We had to do whatever it took to ensure the Gaubles could not gain access to the valley and destroy it along with Scarpel. Shimmeron trembled her leaves with passion. It was not enough to save the valley. We had to do something to restore the balance fully back to nature. We corralled our forces. We called on the Megals, Gloak, the oldest living tree and chief canopian of all the Great Orb's trees assembly, Agota, River Mica and Palia. And together we came up with a 4-point plan. Has Otlin told you that Palia is working hard to hold the balance? Gladwell asked. The Glynns nodded. It is complicated even for her. She faces constant interference. The more the Gorbals alter the crust in their quest for the blood of Zarklan, the more they scour minerals from the mantle, the more they burn, the more toxic they make the soil, the more trees they destroy, the more gas they emit into the atmosphere, the easier they have made it for Zarklan to escape. Otlin explained this at home. Then I was frightened. Now I'm furious. Good. It'll sharpen your focus, Flick said. It was the first time Min had addressed the trees. She spoke in halting Silvish, unable to keep the rage blistering her from entering her voice. We have proof of Zarklan's vile destruction from Redrun and her mob. They lost everything. 4 of the Glens here have lost their homes too. She gesticulated wildly to the gathering, and 2 of us nearly died because of its evil messenger, the sinister hissing. I hear your anger, Shinare answered. Min dropped her head, covered in shame. It's not my existence that is threatened, dear Shinare. If I'm enraged, it is on your behalf, she whispered. Forgive me. That we know. Your anger will propel your gifts, of that we are certain. Shinare switched to Lumish. We have been deeply troubled for your safety as you journeyed here, and we received news of your travails. We remain so. But our dear Glens, you are our greatest hope. Hearing that these majestic trees saw hope in them, Min felt a warmth threading itself through her icy fury. Her spirits lifted. That's my Glen, Flitter rippled. The Gorbals left. Shortly after, we heard that the fires had started, Shinare continued. For a while we were hopeful. They were far to the east. Then we had news through the presence. Another front had started in the northwest and was heading our way, and with evil intent. The fearsomes worked, Gladwell interjected. Now we had a new and equally devastating problem to deal with. We were unprepared for the speed at which they had arisen, nor for the nature of these fires. We've experienced fires before without fear, but these are cataclysmic. We did not believe those of us directly in their path could survive them. Min's spirits plummeted. Already on a giddy ride of emotion, she added fear and devastation to her fury. She felt part steel and part jelly. She needed the steel. She added fuel to the rage and pushed her fear to one side. There'd be time to grieve later. Excellent choice, Flick said. We had to enact our plan at speed, and in this order of priority, Shinare said. The great tree raised a large bough and pointed it skyward. It creaked and groaned, the sounds giving enormous gravitas to her pronouncements. 1. Save the newer forest from the fires for the continuity of the ecosystem. Min's mind spiraled. How? Get all the information, then worry about how, Flick responded. 2. Shinare swished her bow. Evacuate all the creatures in the forest and beings from the canopies before the fires enter. That doesn't seem as difficult. Min felt a spike of relief. Depends on how many billions there are, Flick said. Billions? The relief disappeared. 3. Defeat the Gorbals' evil plans. Min stood motionless too, her arms heavy at her side. Crushed by the scale of the tasks ahead, her brain, which should have been racing with thoughts and ideas, worries, anything at all, was a void, a blank nothingness. From a distance she heard flutter. Ask if you are to be involved in point 3. Her voice, when she spoke into the silence, sounded as if it came from the bottom of a deep well. Are we to be involved in point 3, Shinare? Not at this point, Shinare answered. Do you have a plan then? Yes, Shinare said. Min waited. Sink the valley. And I'll see you beneath the trees tomorrow.